ZZ109 FM Talk Radio. This is Elsie Jenkins, and we are here. We are live. We are ready to tackle some problems on the planet. It's a beautiful year, 2026. A lot of terrible things are going on, but what we have to do is maintain what we can control. We can't control everything on this planet. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jesus made it clear. You can control your heart. Trying to get through hard-headed people. Were the Israelites that damn hard-headed? Sounds like they were, because it makes sense to me. I understand it. I have no control over the hearts of other people on this planet, but I know one thing. I can make sure that I live and treat people with love and respect. It's very simple. My heart agrees, and that's how I conduct myself. We got some super shows coming in the future, and I'm going to tell you right now, we're doing education today, but I can't wait till we get to the book of Enoch, because the book of Enoch is turning heads. Elon Musk's AI, and you know, he's got the best of the best when it comes to having things on this planet. His AI technology, in 2 weeks, summarized for all to understand exactly what Jesus was trying to tell us. And I'm going to tell you right now, from what I've gathered on that end, it's going to be an amazing show. An amazing show. One of them kind of shows where we got to have security. Lord have mercy. But today we're talking about North Carolina education. Now this might apply to other states, but it depends, because every state handles their education situations differently. And we're talking about funding. And this is an important show because, you know, someone said around the corner that black folks don't read. And I tend to agree with them. Because when I got in here and got to doing my research on this situation, because I've got some granddaughters that having a problem getting to school. The bus drivers, there's a bus issue, shortage of drivers. Now, there shouldn't be a shortage of drivers, because in my mind and in the mind of other people, we've got lottery money coming in, helping us help our children. That's what we think. We didn't go back behind people and try to figure out how this system works. So that's what I did. I went back and took a look at the system and was amazed at the treachery of how this all comes together. So let's get this show started here. It's just me here. Everybody else is running around for the weekend holiday, but don't worry. We're going to get some education across the table right away. Now, our first scene right here is we're looking at these children right here. Look at these children right here. You know, some of these schools are falling apart. And I've noticed that maintenance lists are behind. When you have a building, you have to stay ahead of your maintenance issues, not be behind in them. Or your building is going to become inhabitable, uncomfortable. Anyone that owns a house or rents an apartment knows if you don't stay up on the cleanliness, it can get out of control. You have to stay on top of that. Each day you do something to keep that apartment or home maintained. This is the same mental concept needed for those that have to take care of a school property. This is all common sense conversation we're having. That's why ZZ109FM is here, to be able to decipher the confusion. Now we're going to get down to the get down, because this is an amazing piece of information. The biggest issue right here is that lottery money replaces funding, and it doesn't add funding. I'm going to repeat that. The lottery money replaces funding. It doesn't add funding. So all these years, I thought that the schools had to come up with their money from the state. The state hands them their money. And then the lottery, which has been here for many years, is adding an additional amount to whatever the schools get from the state, which is going to help make things better for these schools. So we all celebrate because we all are thinking in the back of our minds that this money is going to help people. Well, that's not the case. 100%. What people don't know is when the lottery started in 2006 in North Carolina, lawmakers reduced the amount of regular state funding for schools because the lottery is supposed to fill the gap. So instead of being extra money for schools, it became substitute money. Who the hell came up with this idea? And where is that substitute money going? See, that's the part I want to know. Because and we're going to make the math simple for some of y'all that are like 10th grade education Bob that don't get half of the stuff we're talking about. We're going to deal with $2 million. So you're telling me you give them $2 million damn dollars. But then you take $1 million away because the lottery gives you $1 million. So you still have $2 million instead of $3 million. Doesn't make any damn sense. So that's why your schools still have the overcrowding. Teachers still buy their own supplies. Poor schools are struggling. And yes, there are poor schools because the distribution of this money obviously isn't 100% fair. It can't be if poor schools are still struggling. And Wake County still has funding shortages. So the lottery didn't fix anything. It just shifted the budget around. And when you're moving money around, you're doing it for your benefit, not for the benefit of the citizens that pay all this money in taxes every year. So let's keep it moving here. So now we understand what's going on. North Carolina took it upon themselves to just say, well, we're going to rob from Peter and take from Paul. So you're taking from the lottery, but you didn't take from the citizens that money that would be on top of. And where are they taking that money? That's what I'm going to do a show on later. Because there's a lot of money being removed somewhere. Is it being moved somewhere and used fairly? Because it could be moved to special places in the state of North Carolina. It could be going to special schools. You could be rerouting this money and getting schools money on top of money. So there needs to be an audit to find out, okay, you took $1 million away. The lottery gave you $1 million, but what did you do with that $1 million? Because see, this is where the problem is. When you're taking that $1 million and you're not making something better along the line that is needed in the state of North Carolina, then it sounds like you putting that money in your pocket and doing whatever the hell you want to do with it. And that's what you're not getting paid for, to sit there as a representative for the people of North Carolina. You're not there to do what the hell you want to do with money when you find a way to swindle. And I call it a damn swindle. All up in our faces, you're swindling money. Let's get down to the get down. The biggest misunderstanding, lottery money does not go directly to the poorest schools. North Carolina does not distribute lottery money based on school poverty, test scores, district needs, equity gaps. Instead, the money is split into a statewide bucket, and then the state decides how to distribute it. So a poor school in Raleigh gets no special boost from the lottery. And that's what we were thinking, that this money was going to be a special boost that all of the schools, not just the poor schools, but all of the schools would be able to take advantage of. And what we're finding out is that is not the case. So how North Carolina lottery money is actually allocated. Let's take a look here. 40% goes to school construction and repairs, but this is spread across 100 counties, and Wake County is considered wealthier, so it gets less per student than the poor rural counties. Interesting. 25% scholarship and financial aid. This doesn't help the K through 12 schools directly. 20% of North Carolina pre-K for at-risk kids. Good program, but limited seats. And 15% teachers' salary support. This doesn't raise teachers' pay. It just offsets what the state would have paid anyway. So the teachers aren't getting additional money. When you're swapping out the money with money, their budgets are still their budgets. And if they're still getting underpaid, they're going to remain getting underpaid. The lottery money doesn't fix the management issue. See, someone's got to manage this $2 million we're talking about. And that's where I see the big red flag in. Not only are you not giving additional money, but someone isn't managing. And, sometimes it's hard to manage when you don't even have enough money to go around to everybody. So you got to rob Peter again to pay Paul. And this is the problem. We're assuming that these people are giving extra money, which they are. So you can't be mad at the lottery, $1 billion industry per year. We're going to have a show about that. Because if you make it $1 billion, how much are we really winning? $1 billion industry a year. You can't be mad at the lottery for giving whatever billion dollars to the state of North Carolina. They have met their requirements. They are not the culprits here. Let's keep it moving. While poor schools in Raleigh still struggle. Even though Wake County is huge, it has rapid population growth. This place in North Carolina is booming. The cost of living is higher. Underfunded school construction. Teacher shortages, and we know that, and bus driver shortages. Add that to the damn list. Aging buildings in low-income areas. So, lottery money isn't helping them keep up with the growth. And that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. So where does the rest of the money go? See, that's what I want to know. After prizes, retail, commissions, and operations, only 25 to 30% of the total lottery sales go to education. That means that if the lottery makes $4.5 billion, only $1.1 billion goes to education. And that $1.1 billion is spread across the entire state. It sounds big, but it's not enough to fix systematic issues. So there you have it. It's a lot of money, but there are a lot more problems than there are money. And it would be more money if they would put that on top of what they already give. Let's keep going. So yes, the North Carolina lottery makes billions. No, that does not go directly to struggling schools. And yes, Raleigh's poorest schools still suffer because the funding formula is outdated. Lottery money replaces, not supplements. Wake County's growth outpaces funding. And equity isn't part of the distribution mode. Being equal and fair in the process of making sure that everyone gets a chance. So we're going to take a look at these things here. Normal funding, the state gives each school $1,000 from its regular budget. The lottery revenue arrives. The lottery generates an extra education amount, $1,000, which is meant to help the schools. But instead of adding the lottery money on top of the state, reduces its original funding, and the school ends up with $1,000. So this is a simple $1,000 breakup. If the state gives you $1,000 and the lottery gives you $1,000, you simply should have $2,000. But because of their setup of taking money out, now that you gave us money, we'll go ahead and put that money in replace of it. The school still only gets $1,000. So there's no gain there. There's no gain whatsoever in the current situation. So when you look at the teachers out here, you now understand their situation. They're not receiving enough. And I'm believing because of the bus situation, where half of the time the buses aren't showing up, or they've got one bus going to multiple locations when they should be doing their route. They're doing multiple routes because they don't have enough bus drivers. It's very simple. I think that these people are just mismanaging everything. It's a mismanagement altogether. And these teachers are doing their best to compensate what's being mismanaged. They don't have the proper facility to keep the kids comfortable, tools to train them with, books, the supplies needed. A lot of these teachers come out of their pockets. And it's overwhelming when you look at their bank account and how much they make. We're not keeping up with how much they make and how much they're lacking when it's time to go in there and try to teach these children, which have nothing to do with this entire conversation we're having. They're there, so they're following their steps in order to be part of this society. They're there, they're on time, they're ready to work and learn. Yet on the end of the spectrum as to supplies and tools needed to do the job, you're just going to have to wait. 12 years. I mean, the child has went all the way through elementary, middle school, and high school. And we can see in North Carolina that if you live in a certain part of the city, these schools are all pretty much the same. Overcrowded and lacking. But if you go down to Cary, I'm going to tell you right now, Cary, North Carolina, you're not going to see too much overcrowding and less on the lacking side. Because Cary, North Carolina is the number one place to retire in the United States at one time or another. But it's because they take money and they apply it. And they keep up with the maintenance better than some of these other schools. And it may be due to maybe having access to more. We don't know. We have to ask them. Let's keep it moving. Doesn't make any sense that we're having this conversation with $1 billion company providing $1 billion a year or more to the state. So I did my homework and I said, well, what are these people making? One, they're making billions of dollars a year in the lottery. And I'm like, well, wow. They're making billions of dollars. Well, I'm out here playing and losing. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've been losing for years. For years. I have not won nothing big on the lottery. Maybe 250, 500. But the jackpots, Cash 5 jackpots, Money for Life, nothing. Mega Millions, nothing. Powerball, nothing. So I see why you're making $1 billion damn dollars a year or more. And take a look at this. So the executive director of the lottery is making $180,000 to $220,000 a year. I'm in a wrong line of work. This don't make no damn sense. Deputy director, division chiefs, $120,000 to $160,000. Managers and analysts, $70,000 to $110,000. Field reps are making $50,000 to $75,000, and administrative and clerical staff $40,000 to $60,000. $180,000 a year, $120,000 a year, $110,000 a year. They're making a hell of a lot of money in this damn lottery system. They're making a lot of damn money. But what about the teachers? What are the teachers making? Huh? Let's take a look. The lottery executive director makes $200,000. Okay. The lottery division manager makes $120,000. Okay. The field representative makes $60,000. Okay. Public school teacher, North Carolina, $54,000 damn dollars. And remember, they in charge of multiple children. Children on the planet. Only $54,000 damn dollars. We ain't got to the teachers yet here. The new teacher. That's what I'm talking about. The one that's saying, you know what, I'm going to school, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to do what $39,000 damn dollars. $39,000. They are responsible for the future children of America, and we are giving them $39,000 damn dollars? But a veteran teacher, if you've been there long enough, you had enough pencils and spitballs thrown at you, you get $58,000, and you got to have 20 years or more. You still ain't nowhere close to what these lottery people are making. And you have much more responsibility than they do. Supporting ticket retailers should not give you $60,000 a year versus a teacher that's been there for 20 years and they ain't even making $60,000 a year. It's an unbalanced discrepancy here. It's very obvious what it is. So the lottery contribution is tiny compared to the full education budget. North Carolina's K-12 education budget is about $17 to $18 billion per year. Now, the lottery contributes $1.1 to $1.2 billion per year. That means the lottery only makes up 6 to 7% of the total budget. So even if the lottery doubled its contribution, it still wouldn't come close to fixing this problematic system. And that's what we need, is a solution. We got an idea for you in a second. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of this swap out system, because this swap out system is not working. And you taking that 1.1 billion that they do give us and taking it somewhere else. Where you taking it? What you doing with that extra money? Because that's money you're supposed to be putting on education, but you done rerouted it somewhere. See, I want to know where you're sending it. Because once we get rid of this system, then we're going to take that 1.1 billion and we're going to route it where it should have been going all along. So you're still going to have your budget, but you're going to also take this lottery money and you're going to manage it correctly. And this is mismanagement. You ain't got to tell me, is it mismanagement? I'm telling you it is. Let's read on. It's not that someone is pocketing the money. It's that the system was designed in a way that allows the state to shift money around instead of increasing school budgets. The lottery is managed correctly, but the education funding structure is not. Yes, we can't blame the lottery, but we can blame the state of North Carolina Education Department. The public was told the lottery money would add money to the schools, and that's where you should have stopped your lying to the American people. Any state that's saying they're giving the schools extra money, but do this swapping of the money in the budget, are lying to the people. You're not telling them the truth. But the law allows the state to subtract money first, then plug the hole with lottery funds. You see, this law thing is something we've been dealing with forever. Laws are circumventing integrity. Laws come up with these silly ideas of doing things to help someone else. That's all they are. And these laws have to change. Yeah, it feels like mismanagement, but you know what? I don't care what this little bullet says. It is mismanagement at its highest level, because you see what you're doing, but you know what? No one goes in and tries to change the situation. As long as no one catches what you're doing and puts two and two together, like we're putting two and two together today, oh, you okay with it. In fact, you might even be getting a little cut of that $1.1 billion. So you don't want to mess up your little extra change y'all are getting on the side. No. We don't want to do that. Bottom line is, lottery's small contribution doesn't fix anything. And the way the state uses it makes the situation worse. So our goal in the future is to stop reducing the school funding, making the lottery money extra, and rewriting the funding formula so that all schools get more support. We know schools are poor. We're not going to sit here and dwell on that. But the fact is, we want all schools to get support so it will be equal down the stretch. We want it to be equal. You all got the same thing, and there's no excuses. Now, what is it that they should get? That's the question, because we sitting up here fussing about something that's going on and the way we're being treated, but where's the solution? And if the people in this situation gave a damn, they could come up with the same solution that we came up right here. It's very simple. So the states are still going to put their $17 to $18 billion in, and that's probably low. They probably need to increase that to 21 to 25 billion. But the lottery money, when it comes in, it's going to go directly to the schools. Directly. Now, we've got different models we came up with. We came up with an 8 school per year model and a 16 school per year model. So each year, 8, which is, well, we look at that as, high end, trying to get the most out of the 1.1 billion or more. And 16 schools per year would expand that, but in a sense, kind of slow us down in just saying those 8 schools are done. These 8 schools are done. These 8 schools are done. Because when this funding hits those 8 schools, they're going to be able to take care of their business and on a very high level. They're going to be able to complete a lot of things and it's not going to be a struggle for them. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got two types of funding we were looking at. Let's look at our chart, because our chart's probably going to give us the best. All right, so we got the 8-school model. So 8 schools a year are going to get a part of this 1 point whatever billion dollars. It's that simple. Every year. On the flip side of that, we could do 16 schools a year. But if you look at the two, you'll see that if we did 8 schools a year, each school would get $137.5 million versus $68.75 million. Now, the biggest difference between the 8 and the 16 is that the transformation would be complete. This should be enough money to get those 8 schools up and into the 22nd century, per se, until it comes back around to them again. Because when it comes back around to them again, they shouldn't be in such a bad state situation. This money should be inviting to new opportunities for them at this point. But the initial amount of 137.5 would get some of the poor and not so poor schools right on track. The 68.75 still helps, but it is possible, based on the school's situation, that they're going to need some funding to complete the process. Depends on the situation of the school, how bad the school is, because it's going to be borderline. For some schools that don't need much help, this 68.75 is just what they need to be in the modern age. Whereas 68.75 might just be the threshold for some schools to be able to be above water, but it's not going to take much to get them back underwater when the funding drops back down to what they're normally getting. So this is a boost that they're going to get. The next year, they'll go back to their regular amount that they normally get from the state. But the lottery money, when it comes in, it's the boost that they're going to get for that year. And they won't see it again until it goes through all the schools in the state of North Carolina. Everyone needs to get their hands on this money. And as long as the lottery is providing that money based on this program, you know what? They may give $2 billion. And that would allow additional money to go to additional schools. So if I'm running the North Carolina lottery and I see how you doing things, you're not going to get no more money out of us. We're giving you $1.x billion, and right now no one can say anything to us about what we're providing, because we're providing you $1 billion a year, and you still can't manage your school system and your structure in place. That's your problem. That's not my business problem, because I'm giving you $1 billion a year. So you cannot be mad at North Carolina Lottery. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's these suckers down there in the city of Raleigh, North Carolina, that call themselves educated people, that are over here mismanaging the damn money and doing what the hell they wants to damn do. Well, this plan would eliminate that. So wherever you send in that 1 point something billion dollars, it's going to have to come on back to the people and the city and the state of North Carolina. No longer are you going to take that $1.1 billion and do whatever the hell you want to do with it. Once it comes in, it goes right into this new system that allocates 8 more schools or 16 more schools. It depends on which one they choose. Now, to be realistic, we want things to get done. We want to see some improvements. What I would suggest is rotating this. The initial 8 schools are hit so you can see exactly what improvements and transformations can happen. The next year you do the 16 school model so you can get those 16 schools into the mix. But you'll be able to see what shortcomings come about. Some of the schools were able to get into that mode and didn't need the 137.5 million. Others with the 68.75 barely made it to the point where they are still needing additional funding. So you can see where this 16 school model takes you, what the positives and the negatives are with it. And then the third year, you go back to the 8 school model, because with the 8 school model, you know 137.5 million is what it is. It is helping tremendously get schools back on track. So this is not a hard show. It's not a complicated show. It's a show about integrity. It's a show about what are these people doing out here to really help the situation. Because you see, the average school gets $7.9 million. $7.9 million. That's a lot of money for me and you. But when it comes to a school, that 7.9 million might not be nothing. But if we went to the 16 schools a year and get part of that 1 point whatever billion dollars, then the school gets $68.7 million. That's a big difference. This all boils down to this last statement. This swap out system has to go. Because you're taking from Peter and giving, robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what you're doing. It makes no sense that this hasn't been addressed over all these years. But it does make sense if you've been taking advantage of that money that the North Carolina Education Lottery has been providing you. You've been subsidizing and taking money out of the budget and replacing that to say, oh, here's the budget. Meanwhile, what happens to that $1.1 billion? It doesn't make any sense. You know, we look at this swap out system walking down the street with its personal belongings. Yeah, get your ass up out of here. We done dealing with a system that is really circumventing the whole idea of getting money from the education lottery in the whole ideology of providing a lottery. Rules were laid down, and North Carolina Lottery complied. And they've been complying every year. Meanwhile, we're wondering what the hell's going on. What's the situation? Why are we missing bus drivers? What's going on with the pay for the teachers? What's going on with the accommodations? What's going on with the overcrowding? What's going on with the lack of resources? We should see billions of dollars coming into your doorway from the lottery. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is this system. This system that someone, and I wish I know which one of you suckers between 2008 and now, which one of y'all sat down and came up with this idea? Because it's criminal in mindset if you think about it. Think about it. Hey, we're getting money from these people, and we are responsible to provide money to these educational schools. But wait a minute. Let's take whatever percentage they give us and take it out of the budget and put it in our pockets and subsidize their providing amounts to make it still seem like we're taking care of the budget. Where's the integrity in that? And what are you doing with this money? See, that's what the next show's going to be on. You've been doing this for many years now. So I like to have an audit. I want to know, what have you done with this $1.1 billion? If I was in charge of the lottery, I wouldn't provide any additional funding until you came up with a better plan. Because I'm pretty sure people have been knocking on the educational lottery's door asking them, where's the money? Where's the improvements? Where are the changes at? What are you guys doing? Everyone's looking at the North Carolina Lottery pointing the finger, when we should be pointing the finger at the representatives of the North Carolina legislation in the educational department. They're the ones that came up with this plan of swapping out the money for the money that they give them at the education lottery. Which bright sucker in there came up with this idea? And why don't y'all have the integrity, any of y'all in office right now, to look at this whole program and say, you know what, this is misleading. This is so misleading. People are assuming, without going in and looking and hearing it from outside sources, people are assuming that the education lottery just isn't doing their job. And it's not the lottery. It's you people that we vote in office to do a job, to manage and maintain. And you're doing just the opposite. With a smile on your face, knowing exactly what you're doing and not saying anything in regards to improving the system. You're leaving it the way it is. So I want a damn audit. I want to know, why are you leaving it the way it is? What are you hiding? What are you doing with that $1.1 billion? Where does it go? Are you saving it? Or are you distributing it to whoever you want to distribute it to? Is it rich people? Is it middle class people? Is it poor people? I want to know where this money's going. We have a right to know what you're doing with this $1.1 billion. And I'm going to do some homework and try to find out. Because that'll be part 2 of this damn show we're doing right now. So as you see, the swap out system is moving their way on. Getting their hells up out of my face. Because you know what? You ain't nothing but a daggone swindling, scamming ass idea. And I want to know who came up with that idea. The swap out system. What else are y'all swapping out? Who else is getting swindled of their money that's donating to North Carolina? And instead of you providing funds on top of what they're providing, you're swapping out those funds and pocketing the rest. This could be criminal down the road if we find out y'all ain't got the integrity to take that money and do the right thing with it. I want a damn audit. I want an audit. I want to know what the hell's going on with this money that has not been going directly to the schools. That's what I want to know. That's what the North Carolina people and voters need to know. What y'all doing with this damn money? ZZ109FM, this is Elsie Jenkins here. As you can see, this is what we're supposed to have. Happy children. Happy children here smiling because they have the resources and the accommodations they need to be able to learn and think and create and accomplish goals. It's the ultimate goal that we're looking for as taxpayers. It's not hard to achieve if you have the right people in place with the integrity to make the right decisions. And when you come into something that you see is incorrect, because I know some of y'all are new people in there that have been voted in, and you just sit there and you see a system that is ass backwards and you don't do anything about it, then you are part of the problem. You are not part of the solution. Part of the solution is a person that comes in there and sees something that is obviously wrong and then brings it to the attention of the voters. That's a person of integrity. That's someone we vote into office. And if the system is shutting these people up saying you better not say nothing, then the system ought to be ashamed of itself. And the system of people that are shutting up people from telling the truth needs to be fired. Those people need to be terminated. That are telling new people that come in that don't talk. This is something you don't talk about. We're not changing the system and don't bring it up anymore. You need to be terminated. Because your integrity-less ass is not needed in the legislation of North Carolina. When you see this happening and you don't do nothing about it, you're just as guilty as the people that created the system. ZZ109FM, this is Elsie Jenkins. I'm hot under the collar because every time I play the lottery, I don't win. But I think in my mindset, every time I play the educational system, the students and the schools win. And they're not winning. Not based on this system. The only people are winning are the people that created this system, and wherever that $1.1 billion lands, every year they do the budget. Where does that money go? That'll be part 2 of this damn show. ZZ109FM, this is Elsie Jenkins. When you're out in the streets of America, watch your back. Look over your damn shoulder. There's people out here with guns and knives to do bodily harm to people, and you've got to be mindful that this is a reality today. Watch your back. Somebody walking up on you, you let them know. First of all, if you want some money or something, turn your ass on around, because there's no need to come over here asking me for nothing. I have nothing for you. Let them know. Don't let them walk up on you. Let them know. It's time to get some answers. And it's time to get firm with people on this planet. Let them know that, first of all, the only thing I fear is God. So I have no problem providing you a front kick if you want to get that close up on me. Practice your front kick. Some of these people out here need a front kick when they're walking up on somebody. Give them a goddamn front kick. Let them know who the hell runs things around there. They won't walk up on you anymore. ZZ109FM, this is Elsie Jenkins. Y'all take care and be safe in 2026.